Hello YouTube, this is Ken Apocalypse, and I've got my Vizio P series TV hooked up. I've been playing with it for a couple days now. A lot of exchanging back and forth, you know. If you've watched my videos, you know me. But anyway, Vizio is the one that I had decided on. And this layout's pretty basic. I'm just going to go over a few things. You know, you got your apps at the bottom, and if I can get down there, you got your apps at the bottom. You have your standard. You have your Netflix, your YouTube, Prime. You got Vudu, Hulu, Xumo. Don't even know what that is. Fandango now, Redbox. I mean, you got a lot of preloaded apps, but when you get down here to want to access more apps, which is this one right here, you want to access more apps, it pops up and it says, hey, if you want to do anything else to this TV, you need to stream it. And you got to stream it from a device like an Android or iOS. It's kind of annoying, especially since I have Sling. I had Philo TV and I switched to Sling because Philo wouldn't even stream to this TV. And Sling will stream to the TV, but it's very laggy. And you know, that's not the TV's fault. That's just the nature of the beast of streaming something, because when you stream something from a device, unless it has the app, this does not install the app. It does not install the app at all. And so when you're streaming it, you're truly streaming it from your phone and telling the TV, hey, go on the internet and look for this and play it. It's kind of annoying because when you're trying to watch something and you get some ghosting because it's slow. And not my internet. My internet's not slow at all. I got 200 megabytes per second. And it's very fast. Everything else works on this TV very, very good. Netflix works good. Actually, let me go ahead and get into Netflix, and I'm not going to play any videos because, of course, that dreaded copyright strike. That light up in the top middle, I apologize. The way I have everything set up here, let me mute this before I do get copyrighted, because you know how YouTube is. Now, when you're in something, okay, this is the order. Okay, let's go to something that I know. Okay, people like Stranger Things. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to get in here and I'm going to pause it. You can see it up there. It says Dolby Vision 5.1. Yes, Vizio does do the higher end HDR of Dolby Vision, which is great, and I think they should. Let me get to see, it says Dolby Vision up there with Dolby Audio. Really awesome. Oh. Now this scene is very vibrant, and for it to be a dark scene, there is absolutely no blooming. Oh, there's absolutely no blooming at the top and bottom bars. The picture is bright. It's crisp. The highlights look awesome. Let's see if I can skip ahead here to I want to get a brighter scene, and there is a bright scene up here. Let's see, this right here. I'm looking through my camera right now. It is more bright and vibrant and colorful on the TV than it is through my phone for some reason. And I'm only filming in 1080. That's why. But the colors are bright and vibrant on this TV. I mean, it's really, really good. And for it to be a quote unquote budget TV, it's kind of unbelievable of how detailed it is, how colorful it is, especially on Dolby Vision content. And well, hell, even excuse my language, even on HDR10 content, which some things on Vudu are still HDR10 and not Dolby Vision. For one, Clock with the House in the Walls. Wait, I said that backwards. House with the Clock in the Walls. Anyway, I mean, it's a beautiful TV. Let me try to get something a little bit brighter. Now, non-HDR content, say Thor. Thor, this is one of my favorite movies. Let's get it to load here. Now, the interaction with this is very... Let's go right here. Let's see if I can get this one. The actual interaction is very sluggish sometimes. I don't like the way the iOS, I'm sorry, not iOS, I don't like the way they're implementing the Android system. It's not a true Android system, it's just a SmartCast. And you can see here, I mean, even dulled out, because you know that the screen gets duller as it you know, pops up the information there. It's bright, it's vibrant, it's a beautiful TV. I mean, there are some complaints I have about it, but picture-wise, there's none. Picture-wise, it's bright, it's crisp, it's beautiful. I haven't seen this kind of deep, dark levels, these black levels, since I had an OLED, and I'm being dead honest. There's no blooming at all, none. And I got the, let's see what I got it set on. I actually have, this is my settings, by the way. I got it on Vivid with the auto brightness off, of course. I got the backlight at 100% because I love a bright, vibrant picture. The brightness is down to 30. The contrast is at 70. Now, the color, when it started, it was on 80. And it made greens too green and reds too red. And I bumped it down to 73. And you can see the color and how colorful it is. The sharpness, a lot of people say take the sharpness all the way down to 0. I just left it how it was, because I mean, there is some detail. I got my black detail on high, my full array on high, and this TV handles motion beautifully. I mean, I don't even have clear action on, and I mean, it's just I see no blurs. When I'm watching Netflix or Vudu or anything, I see no blur. I see no hazing. There's not even any, if you know what I'm talking about, if you have a real dark scene and you have something light, sometimes you get particulates. And what it does, it looks like little gray matter in the white. And this TV does not have that. And it's amazing me. It really amazes me that Vizio put out this TV with this kind of quality. This is the kind of quality you see on a higher end TV, like a Samsung or even a Sony. And if you go on to, it's called review.com, because a lot of people go to R ratings, and I don't trust R ratings altogether, because when they calibrate a TV, they calibrate it on the dark settings, and I don't like that. So I went to a place, it's called review.com. If I can find the video that I'm talking about, I will post it in the description below. But in review.com, they compared this TV's picture quality to the Q7F Samsung and the X900F Sony. And I've seen it. I've seen the Q7F, and I've seen the the Q7F and the 900F, and I can't tell the difference. I mean, in anything, in the motion, in the the Q7F, in the contrast levels, in the local dimming, the 900F, I cannot see a difference at all. And I'm not being biased towards Vizio, and because I like them all. I like Samsung, I like LG. I've had OLEDs, I've had QLEDs. I had a excuse me, I had a low end. I call it low end. Sony 850E, which that's not a great TV, but it's still got great processing power and everything. But I mean, I've had them all, pretty much. Not a TCL. I decided against the TCL, but I'm just saying I'm not biased towards any one TV. I like them all. I do, but to get this kind of picture quality for this kind of money, this thing was, if you buy it brand new, it's $9.99 right now, and the 55-inch is $6.99. Great deals for both TVs. I got this one at a lot cheaper than what I should have, but for the price and the quality of this TV, you wouldn't believe it. You would think that you was watching a 900F. You would think you was watching a QLED. And I know I'm going to get these Samsung people. It's like, there's no way that it compares to a QLED. It don't have a quantum dot panel, but I'm going to tell you, the color saturation in this TV will blow you away, and it's just unbelievable. And you're paying half the price for one of these. I mean, if you buy a 65-inch Q7, you're still looking at what, $1,800-$1,900, when you can get this for $9.99 brand new. It's just unbelievable. And let me go back into some. I have my clear action off, by the way, because this TV handles motion, I mean, perfectly. Low game latency I have off on this because this is Netflix. Now, if you turn this on, it dims the screen a little bit because of the latency. That's just so that your games can react better to the TV. I think it takes it down to 27 milliseconds, down to 12 milliseconds on gameplay, which is awesome. I have my film mode on. I actually didn't even mess with it. I just left that on because of the way the picture looked good, and I got my gamma set at 2.1. Now, this is going to be different when you go into your games. The best thing to do is turn your game mode on, of course. I would not use Vivid. I would use Standard, because that's what I've done. I've used Standard. Let's back out here. Oh, that's just gorgeous. Now, see, through my camera, I'm looking, and it shows that there's a yellow tint on the clouds and stuff. I'm not sure if you're seeing that on your end, but through my camera, it's showing a yellow tint. I'm here to tell you right now that the clouds that are gray are gray. The parts of the clouds that are supposed to be white are pure white, and they're still detailed. That's just unbelievable to me. I've had TVs that I thought looked sharp. I had an OLED, and I'm not knocking OLEDs. OLED's got perfect blacks. It's got a great picture, but can't get very bright. And see, that's my issue. I didn't want another OLED because they're not very bright. When you get an OLED and you're like, oh, it's perfect, pitch perfect blacks and stuff like that, you got that automatic brightness limiter that kind of screws you, really, because on bright scenes, like you're supposed to have, like that one I just had on Thor. Hold on a second. Pause it right there. Now you can see how bright and vibrant that is in the background, and the colors on his jacket, and the white of this is Dolby Vision, okay? To prove it, look, Dolby Vision. But it's a spectacular look. I mean, look, and when you take that little dimness off, it gets even brighter. this is a perfect looking Dolby Vision example. Um, and I'm gonna catch hell because you have all these guys, like I said, with OLEDs or Samsungs that are gonna be like, that's ours can do better. Well, maybe you could tweak a little better than I can, but as for me, I have not had a QLED or an OLED look this bright, this colorful, and although the OLED does have deep blacks, this is the closest to OLED blacks that I've ever seen. Yeah, I mean it's perfect. There is absolutely no blooming anywhere on the TV besides my light up there. I apologize. That's my overhead light I had to use. Um, but I mean, just look at the vibrancy and the color. It's just it's hard. It's hard to say that this TV is not a top tier TV. It is a top tier to Vizio. It's Vizio's top of the line before you get to the QLED. But as for the price and everything, you're pricing it within a mid to budget TV, and I just don't see it like that. The picture quality. I will say this: the sound. Get you a sound bar, which unless you do pay a bunch of money for like an OLED C8 or something that's got the Dolby Atmos speakers in it, you're going to want you a sound bar with any TV that you get, really, because they just can't produce the sound because they're so thin nowadays that the speakers are so small that they can't put out anything. So get you a sound bar with any TV you get. Now, I will tell you this. My neighbor has a TCL 617 series that he ordered off of Amazon. He came over and seen my TV, and he was like, that is gorgeous. He's like, I haven't really messed with my settings. Do you think you can come over and, help me tweak it out a little bit, stuff like that? I was like, sure. And I went over to his house, and I tweaked, and I tweaked, and I tweaked. And something always threw something else off. If I made the picture bright, it washed out the colors. If I made it too dim and made the colors brighter, then the TV looked really dull. We just couldn't get it exactly looking like this. I mean, this picture to me is a perfect picture because it has all the color, it has the brightness, it has the detail. The black levels are, awesome. And I can't find anything wrong with the picture. Like I said, a couple downfalls is the sound. The operating system on this TV is horrid. I'm sorry. I wish they would have put some more time into saying, hey, we need to do something where we can add some apps, or we need to make our interface a lot smoother, but they didn't. And that really sucks because for this TV to look like it does and everything, and then the interface be sluggish and slow, and you can't even add apps to it, you have to stream, that part is really disappointing. And to some people, it's going to be a deal breaker. Now, I'm going to show you this. This is my Dolby Vision settings. You can see up there, it says Dolby Vision. It says backlight's at 100, your brightness is at 50, your contrast is at 70, the color is 75. Now, with any kind of HDR, Dolby Vision or HDR10, HDR10 Plus, when you put it on the TV, it's going to make it just a little darker, just a little, kind of like a tint. And what that's doing is that's adjusting for your contrast to brightness ratio to where it brings out the detail and everything, but it keeps your saturated colors. Whereas my other one was on 72. It started out at 80, put it on 72. Now this one I put on 75 because I love the saturation in these colors. But it started out at 80 also. And also sharpness at 30, tint 0. When you go to here, now look, on your full array, this is kind of a tricky part. When you're on Dolby Vision and you're using full array, the picture is brighter if you use medium than if you use high. And the reason being is the full array, what it does is it compensates the light behind the screen to bring out the bright colors, and it shuts off the zones for the dark colors. Okay. In Dolby Vision, what it does, it analyzes your static metadata. So some scenes will be brighter than others because of the scene that the movie is in. Like this one right here. You see the dark of his suit and him standing there compared to the background. Okay, so where he's at, you got your local dimming, you got them toned down so that it could show that, the background is brighter. That's the sunshine and everything, sunshine on his shoulders, and things like that. But what it's doing, it's compensating for the metadata that's being transferred for the picture. And it didn't get fully explained to me until I sit down and read a bunch. And when you use full array, it's going to make the picture dimmer because it's trying to match out everything on the screen. But when you put it on medium, it's not as aggressive, so it brightens up the picture. You get better picture, you get better brightness, and you get better color because the TV itself is not trying to dim down the picture as much. And Dolby Vision makes up for all that by enriching the colors, enriching the blackness, and it itself, thanks to its contrast, makes the darkers dark. So if you have the full array on high and you have the Dolby Vision doing what it's doing, then it's going to make the picture look darker. The way I got it set up here is you don't lose anything. You don't lose any brightness. You don't lose any color. The blacks are still black. I mean, it looks beautiful. It really does. These are my picture settings. I mean, you can torque yours to however you want. For, some people might be in a bright room where you want the TV completely bright. Some people might watch it in a dark room. No windows in your room for some reason. So you want, you don't have to have it as bright because you ain't got any light pouring in through. But you tweak it how you want to. Me, I got my game latency, of course, off, my clear action off, because like I said, this TV handles motion excellent. I think it's got a 120 panel, but it's a 720 hertz refresh rate. Or, it's a refresh rate, but it's a 120 native refresh rate. With all the software and everything, it bumps it up to 720. See, what else can I show you about this TV? I mean, this TV is completely awesome. I mean, look how bright this is. It's just, it's hard for me to, it's hard for me to sit there and say that another TV's better right now. I've seen them all, and the Dolby Vision helps. I mean, if you get a Samsung, listen to me, people with Samsungs. I love a Samsung. I love their user interface. That Tizen interface is awesome. I love it. It's definitely a lot better than the Vizios. You can stream, sling, you can add apps, you can take away apps. It's great. I love the smart interface too, where you can actually control if you have a smart hub on the Samsung where you can actually interact with your lights and your coffee pot if you want to. You sit there, you can control it all with one controller from the TV. Okay, that being said, a Samsung, particularly a Q7 that I've had. Yes, this year's Q7. I didn't make a video on it because I only kept it for a day because the one Connect box was faulty. As soon as I plugged it up, plugged HDMIs in, it would not recognize any HDMIs. I called Samsung. Samsung said, hey, send it in. It's an 8 to 10 week turnaround and we'll have you fixed up. And I was like, 8 to 10 turnaround, and I just bought it. They're like, yes. So I returned it. Anyway, it was a beautiful picture. It was somewhat bright, but for some reason it wanted to throw a yellow tint over your brightness. Even if you had it on a cool setting, which is supposed to make things look more, I'll say, blue, it was still had a yellow tint over the white, and I just didn't like it. But anyway, I'm not down on Samsung. Samsung is a beautiful TV. It really is, especially if you get a Q8 or Q9. If you want to mortgage your house. But I mean, if you want to save some money and get a beautiful TV with a beautiful picture, I mean, the only thing, this is an edgeless TV. You can see the edges all the way around, and on the bottom you have that silver bar going all the way across. That is the only part that covers the front of the TV, is that silver bar on the bottom. This is a completely edge-to-edge TV, and it's beautiful. It's the build quality on this thing. The legs on this thing are stout. They're metal, they're not plastic. They're really stout. It sticks out probably about 1.5 inches, 2 inches on the back because it's got full array. It has to make room for the LEDs. But I mean, it's hard for me to sit here and say that a TV is better right now, because I've seen this one in person. I've seen the Q7. I've seen the TCL. I've seen the Sony 900. I've seen all these TVs in person, and this has got to be the brightest, most vibrant TV that I have seen in a long time. And like I said, I'm not a Vizio fanboy. I'm not. I mean, I like anything that looks good. I'm not particular to one or the other. I mean, I'll own any of them as long as they look good. This one right here is just unbelievable to me. How gorgeous it looks. It really is. Now I'm gonna jump into Voodoo real quick, and hopefully, excuse me. Hopefully I can show you a couple things without getting flagged. That's one bad thing about the YouTube, is the flagging. Okay, Transformers: The Last Night. Love this video. That glare you see on the camera is not the glare. It's not blooming on the TV. There you go, Dolby Vision. Let's see if I can. Okay, let's pause. Well, let's see if I can. Okay, I want you to look at the colors on Bumblebee, and actually, for some reason in my camera, it's making the picture look a little bit more dull than it is. But the yellow on him is like a bright yellow, not like over bright, like it's not real. I mean, it looks like a real good paint job on a car. It really does. His eyes are bright and blue. The sky behind him is I mean, see, for some reason on the camera it's showing that it's got a slight yellow tint on the background. On the TV, the whites are white, the blues are, I mean, that's a baby blue sky. I mean, it's beautiful. It's just, and that's what it is. See, on the camera it's showing that the yellow on him is darker than what it is, which actually in the picture on the TV, it's a little lighter, and I think that's because there's a yellow tint over everything. And I'm using a Samsung Galaxy S9 phone to film this, so Samsung throws their own little saturations in there. But this TV is beautiful. I don't know what else to say about it. It's Dolby Vision, SmartCast. It's 8:59 in the morning, but I can't say enough about this TV. It's beautiful. If I could change anything about this, I would change, first off, the user interface. The user interface is terrible. If I were you, and you purchase this TV, I would invest in a cheap little $29 or $24 Roku stick to use the Roku operating system, it's much better. But as for the built-in operating system on this thing, it's horrible. Now, switching between inputs, if you could see, you know, you got a Vudu, Netflix, Amazon, Crackle, Kumo. I don't even know what Kumo is, and iHeartRadio, which I never use that. The remote is, I mean, it's pretty basic. It's got the numbers, letters. You hit the home button right here. It'll take you to the, it'll take you all the way back to the operating system. Switching between inputs. There we go. Switching between inputs. You pop up your inputs and say, I can go to WRAL, which is our channel here. It pops up. There's Al Roker. The upscaling on the TV. Some good, some bad. Right here, you can see it's okay. This is actually a 1080i signal, I believe. Yeah, it's a 1080i signal. And it doesn't do a lot of good with the upscaling. It's not really bad either. I've seen worse, TCL. But let me see if I can also, when you plug something in and you turn it on, like I have on HDMI 2 or 1, I'm sorry. I have my Nintendo Switch. When you turn the Nintendo Switch on, it'll pop up on the top and say, instead of saying HDMI 1, it'll say Nintendo Switch. Which that's pretty awesome. That's something that Samsung implemented also. Excuse me. But I thought that was really cool. Not something I really expected. Kind of a little extra perk from Vizio, I guess. Now, looking through my camera, it looks like there's a lot of blooming around the lines and where it says no signal HDMI 1. That is not there on the TV. I don't know how to stress this enough, but there's absolutely no blooming around the letters, around the lines, around anything. I don't know why the camera's picking it up like that. Maybe it's how I'm filming it, but it's not there. I wish I could I wish I could fix the phone somehow to show you that it's not there. But it's not. There's no blooming at all on this TV. Let's see what else here. There's Watch Free, which I haven't experimented with that very much. Watch Free is, I guess, video. It's Vizio's Pluto is what it is. I see it now. If you don't know what Pluto TV is, it's a free TV. It's kind of it's internet TV is what it is, but it's completely free. That's not a bad movie. Hey, Pluto Movies. Evolution. I like that movie, actually. But anyway, I'm not going to keep going on and on because I know that I'm at 33 minutes, and I know a lot of people probably ain't going to watch it to this point. Hopefully you do. If you do, thank you. If not, you'll never know. But anyway, oh yes, you can use Google Assistant, and you can use the Alexa on this also. Now, I will say this. Is this TV still worth buying so late? It's a 2018 Vizio P series. Is it worth buying? Hell yes, it is worth buying. It's not a slouch TV at all. It ain't a TV that you're going to get last year and this year you're going to want to upgrade. Yeah, the quantum dots are coming out. Okay, so what? They're just a little bit brighter. The picture quality on this TV is so good. I mean, if I would have found this thing this coming Christmas, I would still buy it. It's a buyer, and it's going to be future proof. And what I mean by future proof, it has Dolby Vision and it has HDR10. Now, of course, it's not going to support HDR10 Plus because that's a Samsung thing. Samsung and a couple, I think Samsung, Panasonic, and Lionsgate Studios and a couple things formed this. It was the ultra high def alliance thing, and all it supports is HDR10 plus. It don't support Dolby Vision. To me, Dolby Vision is the way of the future. And why I say that is you got so many TVs going to Dolby Vision. You have Samsung that implemented Dolby Vision this year. TCL has Dolby Vision. Vizio, LG, the only one, even Hisense has got Dolby Vision. The only one that is not jumping on board is Samsung, and that's because they're trying to push their own format of HDR10 plus. Now, if HDR10 plus takes off, that's awesome because it processes metadata just like Dolby Vision does, and if it takes off, that's better for the customer, the consumer, because we want the best. And while they're sitting there bickering between if this one, we're going to do this one or we're going to do this one, then people are torn between, okay, do I want to buy this TV because it's got Dolby Vision and don't support HDR10, or do I want to buy a Samsung that has HDR10 plus but doesn't support Dolby Vision? Media wars go on all the time. We had it with VHS and Beta Vision, or Beta Vision. VHS and Beta, if you're that old to remember, and I am. We had Blu-rays and HD DVDs. Okay, the Blu-rays won out. Good for Sony. Now this one is the HDR10 Plus and the Dolby Vision. Which one's going to win? It's hard to tell. They're both still early in development. I know that Dolby Vision can support up to 10,000 nits at a 12-bit rate. And I know that HDR10 Plus can support only up to 8,000 nits at a 12-bit rate. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully it don't last too long, because I'm sure some people want to settle in and get one or the other. And it's a big headache when you have to decide between a TV, because I decided between this and a Q6F. Okay? And I'm going to be truthful with you. The reason I didn't pick the Samsung, and I like Samsung, is because it didn't have Dolby Vision. And that's a big decider for me. But anyway, would I still buy this TV? Yes, I would buy it now. I would while it's on sale. Even though the newer ones are coming out, this TV is worth having. It is still worth buying. It is still great TV. It looks beautiful. It's bright. It's colorful. It's got tons of detail. The black levels are just, they're near OLED perfect. You can go buy an OLED if you want to. OLEDs are good TVs. They're not very bright. I like bright. That's why I got this one. But, for the price of this, $699.99 for the 55-inch and $999 for the 65, you can't go wrong. That's buying a high-quality TV for a budget price. But anyway, that's it. Just wanted to show y'all a couple things. This is Kim Apocalypse, and subscribe to my channel, share my videos, and I'll have more for you next time.